Okay, today is May 16th, and here's a little seedling update. So you can see the tomatoes are doing great. They do have a little bit of bug damage, but other than that, tomatoes are fine. They're actually going to be planted out today after my husband mows the yard, so I can use the grass clippings as mulch. I don't want to put these in the soil without some sort of protection around the bottom, so that the soil doesn't splash up onto the plant and cause disease. And there's my hummingbird. Oh, so exciting. I did plant more black seaman seeds. I've probably planted 12 altogether, and none of them have germinated. So I guess we're just not going to have a determinate tomato this year, which sucks because I was really excited about that. I wanted to see, you know, what the difference was with a determinate tomato versus an indeterminate. But maybe we'll pick one up at the nursery if I can find one. We have all the sunflowers here in the 6-pack. This is the Russian Mammoth Russian. I always plant extra because the bugs devour everything, and I always end up needing to replace them. And then I found a calendula volunteer in the garden. And of course, you know, volunteer just means the previous year plant dropped seed came back, I did nothing. A happy little volunteer in the garden, a happy little surprise. So I pulled this out. I'm going to decide where to put that. And then we also had these everywhere in the garden as a volunteer. And then initially I thought they were coneflower because they looked just like the coneflower seedlings that were next to them. But then as I've been letting them grow a little bit and I inspected them, you can see that true leaf right there. This is actually a cucamelon. So a cucamelon must have fell off the vine. You can see a whole group of them here. Cucamelon fell off, overwintered in the soil, and came back. So this is really, really cool. I've always had like a heck of a time planting cucamelon seeds. So it's really cool that they just came back this year. That's awesome. Yeah, you can tell one cucamelon fell and just a bunch of seeds out of that single fruit popped up. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put these. Like just 1 or 2 cucamelon seedlings, vines, will take over half of my garden. So I'm definitely not going to be planting these. I might separate them and give them away to a couple friends, keep a few for here. And then you can see the blue cream berry seedlings all came up along with the pink bumblebee cherry tomato. Both my husband's favorite cherry tomatoes, and I forgot to plant them. That's why they're in these separate pots. We have a sun gold here getting huge. This will be planted out today also. And check it out. Little tiny baby sun gold cherry tomatoes already. May, what did I say today? The 16th? May 16th. Oh, really, really exciting. See little babies up here. And then we have an early girl. Usually we get our first, like, early girl tomato around the 4th of July, July 5th, 6th. So that'll be exciting. And then we have all the bell peppers here looking really good. Snack bell, poblano, res hab macedonian, the natapino, habanada. You can see all the flowers and buds on these. They've really bounced back. I think we're gonna have some decent pepper plants, even though they almost died. You can see the poor coleus back there. Still haven't decided what to do with that. I think I'm just gonna pot it up and give it to a friend. We got the tray of zinnias here. Beautiful, beautiful foliage already on these little guys. They do have a little bit of bug damage, and that's why, again, I plant so many, because I know the bugs are gonna devour these tender little seedling leaves. But this is really exciting. I'll be planting those out this week. And then right here, I planted some poppies. So I've never planted poppies before. I know it's probably too late. I think they've already had their time in the spring. But I don't listen to garden rules. I just plant what I want when I want. And just see what happens. And you can see they're starting to germinate. Really exciting. And these are all different colors, like big, huge double flowers. So I'm hoping that I get to see what they look like this year. I'd like to have these established in the garden so they just drop seed and come back. Never grown those. Really happy about that. We have the columbine back here. I have some seeds that I started a while back. Just want to have some columbine in the garden. It's my husband's favorite flower, and I learned that the hummingbirds love it. And it's a perennial, so that'll be nice if I can get those to pop up. Amaranth here hasn't popped up yet. These seeds are pretty old and they're pelleted, so I don't know if those are going to pop up or not. We have the sweet pea here. I have planted so many sweet pea seeds this year, and not a single one has popped up. So this pack right here was actually a really old pack, probably 4 or 5, 6 years old. So that might be why, but I also have another tray of brand new seeds that I got, so hopefully I can get some sweet peas this year. I know it's a little bit too late for them too, but do what you want, see what happens. And then we have the catnip that I planted for my cat, and I'm so excited because you can see that little baby seedling right there, and then there's even one germinating right behind it. So she'll be happy. She likes my homegrown potent catnip. She really enjoyed that. She'll be happy. Yeah, tomatoes. I'd like to figure out what is doing this damage. I don't know, spider mites, earwig. I think earwigs do a little bit more of a bigger hole than this, but we'll see. Then we have a tray of leftover impatiens. There was 2 white ones in here. I took them out, put them in some pots on the front porch with a sweet potato vine and a creeping Jenny. So I'll show those in a little bit after this video. But these are leftover. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I'll probably just find a pot somewhere in the shade. They're such a pretty flower. They do look a little rough. We've got a lot of rain, and they've probably gotten a little bit of sun scald, but they'll look much better when I clean them up and deadhead them. And we have this tray here. So the first 3 rows actually are all sunflowers. They're coming up. The ones that didn't pop up, I replanted. I also stuck some moonflower seeds in there, so we'll see if they pop up. So these 2 plants right here are blue queen butterfly peas. So that'll be nice to have a couple of those vines in the garden. Black-eyed Susan vine. These 3 cells still hasn't popped up, which is very disappointing because I didn't get any last year. And now this year, they don't seem to be popping up. But, you know, weeks can go by. I've noticed in my cell trays when I plant seeds, like weeks and weeks and weeks can go by. And then one day, they'll just decide to pop up. So I'm just going to leave them in there and see what happens. Just leave them in there, keep them moist. I probably should have soaked these, scratched the seed surface. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm going to leave them in there and see what happens. And then we have the gazania here. You can see a couple of those have popped up, and then a couple are germinating. I'm happy about that. I can't remember what I planted in the, oh, okay, nasturtium. So I took one nasturtium out. There's actually 2 that popped up. And these are nasturtiums also. And then we have the cosmos. They haven't popped up yet, but I hope the nasturtiums come up. I really, really love nasturtiums. 2 vincas left. I'm going to have to replace one out in the garden because something just chopped it off at the base of the plant in the flower bed, garden bed. Yeah, just like right at the bottom. And it was laying in the garden yesterday when I checked. I have no clue what could have done that. That's so weird. Cutworm? An animal? I just have no clue. But this is why I get extra, so I can replace them. And then we have the Scarlet O'Hara Morning Glory, which is a really vibrant, beautiful, striking pink. On this tray, we have the Scarlet Runner Bean. I planted 2 out in the garden. One got devoured by bugs. One is doing good. So I'm going to replace the one that I lost with one of these, and then find another place to put one of these on a trellis, obviously, so I can see the really beautiful red bean flowers. Thyme didn't come up. Toothache plant, you can see a bunch of those have popped up. That's just for fun. It's really cool to let people try the buds, flower buds. They give you a really weird tingly sensation in your mouth. It's also known as the electric daisy. It's just a really weird sensation in your mouth, and I just grow it for fun, just let friends and family try it. And we have the tulsi back there. A bunch of that came up. Holy basil. I didn't use it last year. You don't eat it like regular basil. People make tea out of it, stuff like that. I just like the smell of it. And that one plant got huge. It was probably like 4 by 4 foot wide. Really huge. And tall too. Like mounding. That thing got huge. And the bees loved it. And then we have my purple basil. You see a couple of those seedlings came up. This is either red Reuben or dark opal. I think I planted dark opal, but we'll see. And then we have the tuberous begonia here, still alive. Somehow I've kept it alive. These plants do not like to be overwatered, and I just tend to overwater my plants. I tend to overlove my plants. I'm not really good with plants that thrive on neglect. And these guys like to dry out completely. We've got a ton of rain. It's been dropping its flowers. I hope it doesn't rot. This one, you can tell, is drier just from the color of the soil. And this one looks much better. Yeah, definitely have to keep these dry. But they're still alive and they're doing good. This is actually the longest I think I've kept them alive. But that is the seedling update. We did get a couple new flowers. I'll show you here on the deck. So I got this new petunia. This is the Amazonas plum cockatoo petunia. It's a new 2024 variety. It's not proven winners. I think it's, I was going to say Danzig, but I think that's a singer. It's actually I don't remember the company that came up with those, but these are really, really beautiful. Durlig, I don't know. Really beautiful, weird petunia. I mean, it's not very eye-catching. My husband doesn't like it. But I just like green. I like purple. I like white. I like that combination. So I thought it would be really pretty to put on top of these strawberry stackable planters. And something has been eating all of our strawberries. I think it's a squirrel. So the other day we went out and got 4 more strawberry plants. We have 6 all together. You can see some over here. It's a mix of ever-bearing and June-bearing strawberries. But we'll see. I might have to move this planter here because of the darn squirrels. And then at the bottom, you can see on both sides, so the nasturtiums that popped up in the cell tray I showed you earlier, I put 2 nasturtiums at the bottom there. And I believe those are the trailing variety from Botanical Interest. So, yeah, I thought like a trailing nasturtium on the bottom of these stackable planters, I thought that would look really good. And then we have the clematis there, the bare root clematis that I got from Aldi's. And by the way, these stackable pots were also from Aldi's, the grocery store. You get 3 of them. I think it was $12 or $13 last year. Not exactly sure how much they are this year, but yeah, really nice. I did have to drill holes at the bottom because they do have a section at the bottom where water just sits there, and you don't want that stagnant water to rot your plant roots. So I did take a drill, put holes all through the bottom. The clematis is doing good. It's getting really big. Trying to reach for something. I'm gonna have to put it in the ground next to a trellis. But yeah, I think I said in the last video, it'll be about 2 or 3 years before I see a flower on that, according to the interwebs. So we'll see. And then we have the silverberry Supertunia Vista here. I think in the last video I referred to this as Supertunia Snowberry. That's not a thing. There's Snowdrift and Silverberry. This is the silverberry, and it is distinguished by its pink center. The snowdrift is completely white. But yeah, they are doing really good in those pots. I'm gonna stay on top of fertilizing this year. I've been fertilizing them with like a chemical instant release, water soluble fertilizer. So I'm gonna fertilize them every Friday. Just my annuals, my supertunias. You don't want to do that with every plant. I think most plants wouldn't be able to handle that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get a lot more buds this year than I had last year. Then in the hanging pots, my husband put up some hooks on the porch, and you can see these beautiful hanging pots here. These are the Supertunia Mini Vista Ultramarine. They have some buds on them, some flowers. Really excited about this. They seem to be loving these pots. I'm also going to keep up with fertilizing those. And then you can see all of the DE, diatomaceous earth, that I put down. We have a major ant problem. They're starting to come in the house. They're invading my hummingbird feeders. Every time I look out, they're filled with ants. So I put down some DE. I don't use like pesticides, dangerous pesticides. I don't want the ants to ingest the pesticide, then go up into my bird feeder and pollute the water and kill my little hummingbirds. I would be devastated. So I've been trying to go the natural route and do some DE. And this is food grade. This is apparently safe for animals. But yeah, here are the dahlias. They are doing so good. Even more popped up. You can see some DE. And another reason I put down DE was for some bug damage that we've been having. You can see all of the holes. When you don't use pesticides, you really have to find creative ways to deal with pests. But another one popped up there. It's been almost completely devoured. Another one there. Another one down there. So yeah, just like a whole row of dahlias. And the same thing in the cute little marigold. Same thing on this side. So I discovered recently, I think I put a little bit too much DE on those. I hope they can still like photosynthesize through the enormous amount of powder I put on them. But I discovered the other day that my zone is now a zone 7A. It was previously 6B. So now I don't have to dig up dahlias. I don't have to dig up, well, it's been obvious I didn't have to dig up my dahlias. I didn't have to dig up my gladiolus. And I'm wondering if I'll have to dig up my ranunculus. So that is very exciting. It's a little warmer here than it used to be. So more things will be able to overwinter. Then we have another marigold, the gladiolus, obviously. And I've been picking out a ton of morning glory seedlings. This is actually a coneflower seedling that popped up as a volunteer in the garden. I brought it up over here. I thought in the corner of each bed a big old coneflower would look really pretty, so I'm sure the bugs will devour it before it has a chance to establish itself, but we'll see. And then another basket here, Supertunia Mini Vista Ultramarine. Boy, that is a mouthful. These are really, really beautiful. I think these are a new 2024 variety also. I love this really dark purple. They remind me of like the Grandpa Ott Morning Glory. But I will do, after this video, a little garden update. And check it out. I'll do a little sneak peek. Look at the beautiful foxglove that I planted from seed. They are gorgeous. But I'll save that for the next video. That is the update of all the seedlings and the flowers so far. And I'll see you in the next one.